All right, we are live. Wait for people to start populating the stream here. I do want to I want to try to keep today's podcast somewhat Belichick free. Somewhat Belichick free.
Why?
Because I mean,
you have fatigue?
It's not that I have fatigue. Well, I don't know. I get it's funny. You know, when you're ahead of things, I'm ahead of things. And then when everybody catches up, you're like, where y'all
get on my level?
No, it's more like, where y'all been? Right? It's that sort of thing, right?
Gotcha.
So, like, did you do the ABC thing yesterday?
I did. Our friends from TVD. Yes.
How'd that go?
It's good.
It was good?
Yeah, it was classic TV. They came over, we had fun, and there was like 30 seconds of me, if that.
Oh, you
that's
know,
what you do, man. It's a package.
Was
cool.
was Jess there to say we're not talking about that?
No, we were here.
Oh, you're here?
Yeah.
That's right, because we're right down at Fayetteville Street.
Oh, they were great.
Okay.
Enjoyed
okay.
them.
So I did a hit with Cannell, Dusty, and Danny yesterday on Sirius XM.
Okay.
I literally just finished doing something with FNZ with Walker, where he was talking about this stuff. Like, I go on when I log into YouTube, because I know you don't log into YouTube much.
Right.
Like, I am inundated with Jordan Hudson thumbnails because it's the hit.
They are telling you, hey, buddy, catch up,
get up on this thing, right? So it's just hilarious to me. But the funniest thing are some of the Carolina, not the Carolina people that rock with us. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the ones who admittedly like, you're all just a bunch of, state homers, blah, 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 blah. I've had a couple of DMs and a couple of emails that have been like, look, man, I'm a Carolina guy, and I thought the way you guys approached the Belichick stuff came off as like hateration.
Sure.
But even I'm getting a little queasy about what's going on. So it's been kind of fascinating. But, and the other reason why I want to keep today Belichick free, we got so many sports phone calls about Belichick this week that'll be our entire mailbag, and we're going to be hungover from the Shadies anyway.
I know. Speaking of which.
Are you drinking already?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. It is just past 2:00 on a Thursday, live on YouTube, as always, brought to you by our friends at the Butcher's Market. We're talking about OGs. Butcher's Market has been with us from the jump. It's the OG Media birthday weekend, Joe. It starts today. We got the party at Shady's tonight, starting up at 6:00. Empire Eats will have a food truck out there. We got a lot of stuff to raffle off.
Including,
what do we got? Oh,
City of Oaks,
jersey. The City of Oaks.
From our friends.
Ice Pack hockey jersey. All right, get the Weller out. I thought you were doing the Busch Light Apple.
I'm doing both.
What the hell is that, by the way? Busch Light Apple.
Thanks to James. The Bapple.
Is that? It's clean enough.
Yeah, it's government.
I got to drink it out of my official bourbon glass here in the studio, right?
Yeah.
That's the Bapple.
You want the first sip?
Why do you drink trash? Trash?
I haven't even had it yet, but like, I bet you it's delicious.
Like, I don't want to call you Jersey trash, but then when you do this, it's like you're such Jersey trash.
It's fair. I take it. I own it. I wear it. It's Busch Light. How do you not like Busch Light?
No.
Says the man will drink anything.
No, I won't even drink that. I'll drink the Weller, though. Speaking of beer, I tell you what's going to be better tasting than that. OG Light, which will be available tonight. Although I don't know how much beer we have. I think it's 2 sixtels of OG Light because we have to make room for our friends at Shady's.
That's fragrant.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. So anyway, we'll see you there tonight. We did have one question from an OG podcast, OG Sports Phone text asking if the Utes were allowed to be there.
Yeah, we got a food truck.
We got a food truck. Yeah, it's all good. The kids can be there. I think we're gonna have tabletop cornhole to occupy them. Although it's kids in 2025, they don't need that. They have their phones and iPads to occupy themselves.
You really don't like this?
No, dude. Well, I'm not an apple juice drinker.
Oh, it does taste like apple juice.
And it tastes like apple juice, and I can see why the kids like it because it brings them back to, like, when they were in kindergarten. It's snack time right before nap.
Juice box.
Yeah, there you go. It's a juice box with alcohol in it.
The peach one was definitely more beer-y than that. That doesn't taste like beer.
All right.
That's dangerous.
Fair enough. Anyway, so we'll tell you more about the OG birthday tonight at Shady's in housekeeping. What's up?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like I want to give people like a order of business.
Well,
6
you know what?
o'clock,
F it. Let's just do the housekeeping now. Let's just get it out of the
Okay.
gate, shall we? I know I SEO'd the hell out of today's podcast with, when do the Carolina Hurricanes and Washington Capitals start their series? That's SEO on purpose, folks. I'm looking for the Google hits. Folks, if you came here from the Google hits, don't worry. We'll speculate here in a second. Housekeeping brought to you by our friends at Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
Order of business.
Order of business. So 6 o'clock at Shady's. Empire Eats food truck will be there. We have nachos, we have barbecue, and we have the schnitzel.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited about that. So we'll do that. We'll get there, a little meet and greet. We'll sell some more raffle tickets.
We will also sell I'm sorry. We will have access to the foam trucker hats.
Access.
Access.
Yes.
Access can be yours for $20.
Ooh, today only.
Today only.
Only.
Today only.
So we have that. Then at 8 o'clock, we'll do the actual raffling. And if you've been on my Twitters at all, you see everything that I have. My car right now is packed to the gills with prizes for what we have tonight, including
8 o'clock on a school night. You drinking? You're going to make it that long?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. I believe in you. I believe in you. Anyway, continue.
So that's it.
That's it.
And then we'll be there. You know, I got till 10 in me because it's a birthday.
All right.
It's a celebration tonight.
Okay.
So come and see us. Don't feel like it's like one of these parties where like, oh, if I'm not there, it's o'clock, I can't come.
Oh, no.
No. But if you want to make the raffle, though, 8 o'clock will be the time for the raffle.
You know, last year we did trivia. Shout out to the old OG scoreboard for hosting the trivia last year. We thought about doing trivia again this year, but I kind of wanted year 2 to be a bit more of like like the housewarming drop-in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we bought this new house. There's nothing really formal. We're not doing an actual party. We're just going to be here from X time to X time, drop in. Come say hey, hang out. And obviously we got the raffle, which 8 o'clock for the raffle?
Yes.
All right, 8 o'clock for the raffle. Let's get into the order of business as it relates to topics and the show itself. We got the Canes and the Caps. We know that that's the series coming up for the Carolina Hurricanes after the Washington Capitals took care of business last night against Montreal. The trendy pick for the Canadiens to advance past the Capitals. And I got this one wrong, too. I'm not bringing this up in the context of, all you people who didn't believe in the Capitals, you look silly now. I'm included in that. I thought there would be a bit of a drop-off getting to the postseason after the center of the story was Ovechkin and the Gretzky chase. Not that I'm belittling it. That's awesome. That was an incredible achievement, something that we never thought would happen in our lifetime. It happened. Ovechkin did it. Can't think of a better player to do it, honestly. But we thought there might be a little bit of a drop-off. No drop-off for the Caps. Interestingly enough, though, I got the email from Jimmy Shapiro. I'm sure you get these emails, too, telling you the odds for series and things like that. This surprised me. The Canes are actually Vegas favorite against the Capitals. I was not expecting that. I thought, because of Ovechkin, Capitals fans in general, that the Caps would be the ones who would be the Vegas favorite. I was incorrect. It's the Capitals who are plus, the Canes who are minus.
Well, part of this, of course, is the Canes and their analytics, but also part of this, too, don't forget Protas for the Capitals is hurt. And he was such a big part this year. The big Latvian was such a big part of what they did this year. They are still obviously driven by Ovechkin, but remember, he missed significant time this year with the leg injury. They still had 111 points, which was the most in the Eastern Conference. They're a renewed team. This is a team that was kind of given up for dead, at least by me and most, after we saw them, stumble under Peter Laviolette. And then they had we saw them in the Winter Classic and they were just kind of disjointed. They looked like a team that was past its expiration date. Well, they went out and got Strome. Dylan Strome. I mentioned Protas. I mean, these guys have really injected some life into their lineup.
Now, when will the series start?
You have an answer?
I have what I would call informed speculation.
Okay.
And I think it really has to do with the Carolina Hurricanes and Lenovo Center. Here's what Lenovo Center has coming up next weekend, since this starts on the road. This is rare for us, too, because we're so used to the Canes
being the higher seed, the better seed.
Having the home ice advantage in these situations. So we're like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. So Lenovo Center has Shane Gillis on May 9th. They've got Pearl Jam on May 11th and 13th.
May
So
9th is a
Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday are taken. It's going to be a hell of a weekend at Lenovo Center. Prayers for Joey.
Yes.
Hashtag prayers for Joey. So May 9th is Gillis. 11th and 13th is Pearl Jam, which, by the way, if anybody's looking to unload 2 Pearl Jam tickets, I'm your Huckleberry. I am your Bill Belichick to your Jordan Hudson. Okay. Now, this means with some series still going on, it kind of depends on what happens with Toronto tonight. If I had to hazard a guess, it's most likely that the NHL is not going to have an Alexander Ovechkin-led team not play on a weekend. So if I had to guess, they're going to go Sunday, Tuesday in DC, then Thursday, Saturday in Raleigh with no day off for travel in between, like we saw in the previous series against the Devils, where you had that extra day. So I don't see them having the extra day. The extra day would occur before they go back to DC because nobody's sweeping anybody in this series. I think this is going to go 7, just like in 2019.
Okay.
So my guess would be Sunday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Saturday with the extra day before they go back to DC. They could start on Monday. So they go Monday, Wednesday, then back to Raleigh, and then they play on Saturday, Monday.
That could be sweet for us. That could be the breeze through. That Friday could be
That's what I
thing.
if the NHL and their television partners wanted to gift us something for our second birthday, it would be that.
Okay.
Friday night, Lenovo Center, game 3. I'm sorry, not Friday night. Saturday night, game 3. That would be fantastic. Please give that to us. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. So Monday, Wednesday, back to Raleigh for Saturday, Monday. I'm sorry, Sunday, Tuesday, and then back. However, if Toronto does it tonight, I was talking to somebody who said, don't count out Saturday for these 2 teams. Up there. So they get things going Saturday, Monday, 2 big TV nights. And then they go back to Raleigh for Thursday, Saturday, which would be good for us too, because we would get a game 4 on Saturday. So there's all sorts of ways to go about this. But that would be my speculation for how this all goes for the Canes and the Caps. Of course, the series doesn't start until the road team wins. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing that trope between the Caps and the Canes. Just my own informed speculation on that one. The other thing that I got, which was funny, in relation to the Carolina Hurricanes, one of our listeners sent us this Venn diagram within Venn diagrams. Have you seen this?
Of the triangle.
The tri-state area. The tri-state area not liking the triangle. So you've got the Devils, the Islanders, and the Rangers. The Devils and the Islanders both hate the Rangers, but then when you put them in that circle with the Rangers and the Devils, they all hate the Canes. So if you can see how these 3 teams, they've got their little circles of hate, but in the middle of those circles, the Venn diagram of Venn diagrams, that is the case. It is the Carolina Hurricanes. Although that does get us to what I thought was an interesting OG sports phone question. Before we get to the sports phone, we are in the middle of a hockey break.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hill.
I love people who listen. They use the promo code OG25 on the app. They took a screen grab of it, and then they sent it to the OGGoesDigital at gmail.com. So use that promo code if you haven't done it yet. Use the app, order your pickup, save 25% that one time. Send a screen grab to us, and you can be in the running for the black card, which gives you 20% off for life or
Caleb
forever.
Love style.
If you're a Duke person.
Yeah.
Duke forever, Happy and Hail forever. Might be you, 20%. And they've got their pop-up location over in Smoky Hollow. $10. Grab and go. It's super easy.
You can't even go to McDonald's for $10. Come on.
No. Heck no.
Let's go.
And
let alone be healthy.
And can you play pickleball there? No.
Maybe watch a cute dog.
Can do that at the Happy and Hail pop-up. So go check that out. So let's get to the OG Sports Phone, shall we?
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
All right, this comes to us from a 202.
Hey, Joe. This is Kevin in College Park, Maryland. Just want to give a plug and try to pump up the rivalry between Caps and the Canes, and really highlight how it's a true regional rivalry in the same nature as State Maryland from long past. They're trying to kill off the regional rivalries, but I do think that the DMV triangle rivalry runs deep. Just to list a few key games off the top of my head, been wondering where this particular Canes Cap series is going to land on a potential Mount Rushmore of DMV triangle games. Going all the way back to '74, ACC Championship, the greatest game ever played, State Maryland, before my time. '82 National Championship, going to Carolina, Georgetown, also before my time, but another iconic game. 2001, Duke, Maryland, the Final Four, the Miracle Minute, right at the peak of that Duke-Maryland rivalry. Then there's Georgetown, Carolina for the haters. I think it was 03 NIT, Matt Doherty's last game, sort of the bizarro of '82, Carolina, Georgetown. '06, Carolina defending national champs gets knocked out of the tournament in the second round by George Mason on their Cinderella run. That same year, Maryland women's basketball knocked off Duke and Carolina in the Final Four. One of my favorites, Maryland blowing a 41-14 lead to State at Carter Finley in 2011. That was a good one. But then really, I think that the ACC, Maryland, State, Carolina, Duke games, they stopped, and now all we have is the Caps and the Hurricanes. So we got Game 7, Brock McGinn, the winner, a rare multi-overtime winner for the Canes, of course, 2022 Stadium Series, and the Mayo Bowl between State, Maryland, and now we're seeing probably the highest stakes Canes Caps games we've ever seen. So good luck to the Canes, and let's pump up that Southeast Division regional rivalry. Let's go Canes. Thanks, guys.
That was an amazingly thorough phone call.
Was that you through a voice modulator?
I mean, it might be.
It sounded like you
That was
reading.
awesome.
That sounded like you reading off one of your own yellow pads.
It was phenomenal.
That was very good. Yeah, I mean, yes, the Capitals and the Canes, while old school. I mean, I'm talking old school Canes fans have an affinity for the Devils in the playoffs because of the series history.
Frequency, yeah.
And the fact that '02 was such a big deal because they broke through the Devils. A lot of folks still remember Scott Stevens and what he did to Ron Francis and how he was a nemesis. Some people still see Marty Brodeur, excuse me. I think the Weller's already hitting. Martin Brodeur and call him Floppy McSeabass. So these are things that people would say. I mean, my father-in-law would call him a flopper from back in the day. Okay. So all that stuff is there with the Devils.
He's a Flyers fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would he? Oh,
dude,
okay.
he had no time for Brodeur. None. So anyway, so there's a segment of Canes fans that when it comes to playoff time still looks at the Devils as that, I still remember those matchups, right? But the Capitals, if we were looking for an actual true regional rival for the Carolina Hurricanes, the Capitals are that team. And it's already baked in. We talked about it with Maniscalco during the After Dark on after Game 5, where he was already referencing 2019 and Game 7 and Alexander Ovechkin and Andrei Svechnikov and where the two are now in their careers and everything else. The Stadium Series, there was a reason why the Capitals were chosen for that game because regionally it made sense. And it made for a good crowd because you got a lot of Caps fans in the area. I mean, heck, I can go to the local rinks around here and you will see as many Canes things, but you'll see some Caps stuff too, some Caps gear from hockey dads or guys who are playing beer league hockey. So I agree with the caller's point that there is enough regional heat between these two teams that this should be a fun one. And if you are already sick of Timo Meier, well, guess what, folks? Tom Wilson's coming to town.
Allow me to introduce you to Tom Wilson.
So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good series, and I expect it to go 7. All right, to a 919.
Hey, Joe. First wanted to say I've loved Canes coverage so far. Y'all have been my absolute favorite place to get Canes takes and news from through the playoffs, and keep doing it. Secondly, far be it from me to think Tom Dundon needs defending. However, I wonder if we need to be, as a total conversation from the media to the fans, a little bit more charitable to his strategy. You know, he tries to play Moneyball at first, and then the conversation among the fans and the media is, well, you need to go get a dude. To prove to the team, you need to get a dude. And so he tries to get a dude in Gensel, fumbles that a little bit. Rantanen, it doesn't go according to plan. And now the conversation is, well, Dundon needs to see that this is a team game. And hopefully he can, he can come to Jesus and build the team from depth. I don't know if he doesn't appreciate all that. I think, he's had a great start as an owner, and his philosophy is getting more informed. I have criticisms of how Dundon handles some things off the ice for the Hurricanes, but in terms of the on-ice product, I think he's doing a good job of balancing what the fans want and what the teams need. And he's only getting more informed and more equipped with knowledge about how this hockey thing works. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tom's a dreamer.
Yeah.
There were some restraints to the salary cap, but I think for the most part, right from when he first bought the team from Peter Kamanos, he walked in that building, looked at that, scoreboard and said, the video board, and said, this ain't it.
This ain't it. It's time to
and
upgrade.
Immediately poured money into that project. Now, he stands to financially benefit the most from the arena project, the arena area project. There's no doubt about that. But I also think it's something that this area needs ultimately to keep up with the demand and the times, if you will. Like, Joe, you've had your own revelations of going to Detroit.
Oh, sure.
And seeing modernized buildings. I've had my own experiences of going to different football stadiums and arenas and saying, wow, it'd be really cool to have this. So I think the only criticism of Tom as a whole would be he is financially motivated and he may not always want to spend his money. But I think hockey wise, like when you, and I get it, I'm not trying to be an asshole and say when you talk to Tom, but when I talk to Tom, he's a guy who's super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roslovich deals and some of these other deals around the corner, the Nason back, when he first got him, those are things that excite him. Getting players that kind of, hit Eric Tolsky's numbers and show that look at the big brain on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that excites him. I remember last year they beat the Rangers in one of the games here and he was feeling it.
Yeah.
Because he was walking down that hallway going, everyone else gets to pick players too. We just pick better players. And I was like, okay.
Well, I think what you're hitting on and what the caller is hitting on. Let me back up what you just said though, that he's a dreamer. And he wants to be viewed as somebody in sports that's worth paying attention to as well. It's why he picks and chooses where he makes himself available right now. And he makes himself available. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
He makes himself available. Raleigh, to a greater extent, the area needs more people like Tom. Now, we thought the same thing about our guy in Charlotte. Okay.
Tepper.
David Tepper also came in with, thank goodness we're moving on from Jerry Richardson and the cheapness of he wouldn't even put the Panthers logo at midfield. And people would be annoyed by that kind of stuff, right? And then you've seen how that's been a not so great run for David Tepper since he's gotten there. So winning really does help Dundon push forward with what's going on here. I do wonder if we entered into some sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe alternate timeline, if this stuff wasn't working out, how things would go with the renovation plans and how quickly it's gone through and all that kind of stuff. What the sellout streak would look like, what the tolerance to pay $50 for parking would be. And before you hit me with, well, it's cheaper on ParkWiz, a lot of people who are casuals that are going to a playoff game for vibes to go get hooked on Canes hockey, which is, again, don't get annoyed at casuals. They are the lifeblood of your favorite sports teams, okay? When they see that sticker shock, they might not come back. all that stuff is more tolerated. I mean, heck, I'm the one who's going, you're asking me $12.50 for a Storm Brew now? I remember when I could give you a cold $5 and walk out of there with a beer. What the heck is going on? So all those things become more tolerable when you win. And and this is it's a very small hole to pull the thread through. I tolerate it because I also understand in order for the Canes to maintain what they're doing, it requires the spend. It requires the disruption. It requires $50 parking, expensive playoff tickets, and all that kind of stuff. Because if you want to keep being a cap team, these are the things that are required to do it.
Yeah, Paul hitting the right notes here. I think winning makes all things tolerable. Tom is an asshole in negotiations and is an overall obstinate, but on the ice, production speaks for itself.
Which has always been his bet, by the way.
Yeah.
Tom has been very consistent with that. He's like, it doesn't matter this, or this. As long as I'm putting a winning product, I'm good.
You know how CJ Leslie once famous said to me, you and me, we ain't the same.
A classic.
Me and Tom Dunn, we ain't the same.
We ain't the same.
He doesn't gamble and he doesn't drink. I would tell you that this is his addiction. Hockey is his addiction.
I can see that.
You got to fill it some.
Everybody, that.
Hey, Joe, everybody's got vices. You got to fill them some way. And this is what he does.
Yours is driving up to Danville with Gordon Miller.
Gordon hit another parlay. I'm starting to wonder if I really should just listen to Gordon at this point.
Oh, don't tell him that. Don't.
It's too late.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. All right, from a 704.
Hey guys, it's Paul. Just wanted to drop a little Canes hot take right here. If the Canes win the Stanley Cup, obviously there's a lot that has to go right for that to happen. But if they win the Stanley Cup, Andrei Svechnikov will be your Conn Smythe Trophy winner. He was incredible last night. I thought he was even better than his hat-trick game in Game 4. Every time he shot the puck, I thought it was going in. He was everywhere. He was dangerous, and he still got on the score sheet and tied the game. I'm telling you right now, for the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup, Andrei Svechnikov has to be the Conn Smythe Trophy winner.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I just want one. Look, to tie this back into the previous conversation, this was the equivalent of NC State playing Oakland instead of Kentucky. There were the bracket luck of playing the Devils, who were the worst team in the field, the most decimated team in the field. Don't extrapolate anything from the Devils round.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you're right. I think that Washington is going to help drive ticket sales in this round.
Yes.
And I will tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, anyone who's making money off of this series and making money off of the Carolina Hurricanes is rooting for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because if the Florida Panthers are the opponent in the next round,
oh, forget it.
You're going to see some interesting empty seats, because you're now caught between I'll save my money for the cup or I'll just save my money in period. If it's Toronto, you got the Toronto people are going to be here in force. We saw this. We've seen this already.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing.
I think about 0-2.
But it's not a bad thing.
No,
though,
it's not a bad. It's a great thing.
Toronto fans are amazing.
Dude, 0-2 was
Some
of
awesome.
the best tailgating I've ever experienced at a
Because
Canes game.
they
Because
were
they
like-
loved it.
They were like, you people are so nice.
Oh my goodness. I remember talking to a Toronto fan who came down from Toronto, and that's
They
when
would drive.
that's when I got the religion. They said it was cheaper to fly here, get a hotel, and buy tickets than it was to go to a game up in Toronto. I'm like, that's insane. And they were so happy. It was sunny,
warm.
They were chilling outside, drinking beer. They're having a great time. I remember that series like it was yesterday because it was such a great time in the parking lot.
But I
So,
do worry if it's Florida in
No,
terms of
you
what
know
it
why I
looks- what
worry?
the building looks like.
Yeah,
Because
but
they
you
don't
know-
have fans.
You know why I'm
Florida
worried?
does not have fans.
I'm going to give you the third option. The reason why I'm worried about Florida, they ain't beating Florida.
Right. I mean, that's fair.
Let's just call it what it is.
Fair.
They ain't beating Florida. Toronto, well, at that point, you just bring David Ayers out and go, hey, it's David Ayers night again. Oh,
Trolling
look at
shit out.
that. Why is every home game David Ayers night? I'm so confused.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, David Ayers bobble night, David Ayers jersey night, David Ayers plaque night. Put him in the, I mean,
Retire the number.
Retire the number, right? Retire the number. Sports Podcast Festival is back.
Let's go.
Y'all knew the Sports Podcast Festival was going to be back. We had such a great time in year one. We were going to do it again for year two. Dimitri and Cap Cut. Somebody needs to get Dimitri away from Cap Cut, man. He's a madman on the Cap Cut.
Let's watch. It's really good.
Let's watch Dimitri's Cap Cut announcement for the next Sports Podcast Festival and who will be joining us at the Rialto.
The Sports Podcast Festival is back for year 2 with an all-new lineup. Kick off the 2025 college football season at the Rialto in Raleigh on August 23rd. 3 shows on 1 stage, featuring Split Zone Duo, Ovies and Giglio, and Big Screen Sports, bringing a crew of guests to break down the cinematic classic Necessary Roughness. Tickets go on sale Friday, May 9th at noon Eastern. General admission tickets are just $59 and include admission to the home field apparel after party. Don't miss Split Zone Duo, Ovies and Giglio, and Big Screen Sports at the 2025 Sports Podcast Festival at the Rialto in Raleigh on August 23rd.
There it is.
I thought that was really nicely done.
It was very well. He's getting better with the Cap Cut. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm still just dealing with Adobe Rush and my rudimentary style. So I'm really happy about Split Zone Duo. That's the podcast that Giglio famously laughed at me for me referencing one podcast during the football. Don't trip the Rolling Rock on your computer, dude.
I think there's a
whole. Oh wait, has my dad's prophecy come true? Is the can defective?
Something's going on there. That was not me. I'm
Okay.
only having one beer.
Because my dad uses that line all the time.
Oh,
there's
there's a hole.
something-
I did that the other day. You're
I know. I was like, oh geez. He goes, I think the bottle's defective. Can I get a new one?
Where were we?
Where were we? We were at
the swine.
That's right. We're at Swine. That's right. Anyway, so Split Zone Duo is a great college football podcast, and I'm really looking forward to Alex, Richard, and Godfrey coming through. As far as Big Screen Sports, I'm just hyped that Caroline Darney will be in the house. Our friend from Virginia will be in the house. She's part of that podcast. I'm talking with Dimitri. That is a way to finally get Maniscalco to show up to one of these things, because you don't think Maniscalco can recite Necessary Roughness line for line. That man's a repository of movie lines. He has takes on it. So it should be a lot of fun. We just got to work on a guest. You think we can get Jordan to show up?
Michael?
We probably have
Better odds.
We have better odds of getting Michael Jordan to show up for the Sports Podcast Festival than we do Jordan Hudson. Anyway, so Sports Podcast Festival year 2 coming your way. Looking forward to what we're going to do with Home Field. Obviously, we'll have access to exclusive hats at that event as well. And who knows, maybe we can convince Hayes to carry OG Light at that event.
There we go.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of our corporate champions, speaking of the Canes, our friends at Breaking Tea have dropped a whole bunch of new shirts over at breakingtea.com. May I suggest, if any of these shirts interest you, including the new No Quit shirt or the Hockey Names 2025 edition that has Svetch, Jarvie, Marty, Ghost, Slavo, Fishy, Bernsey, Chatman on it. That's a good shirt.
That is a good shirt.
Or what's the other one? The Overtime King, Sebastian Aho. That's the other new shirt that they just dropped. If you are going to buy any of these, may I suggest? What? Oh, yeah. Is this one on sale?
All right, let's get it.
You want to buy
Get
it?
it? No. We already have enough rent and shit in the studio.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I mean, if you want to buy this shirt just for giggles, I mean, by all means. All I'm saying is there's a link.
Max Patrick, come on, guys. What are we doing?
What? I mean, hey, man, come on. What else do they have? And they got Staz. Yeah, they got some old ones, man. They got some Turbo Mode. You just want to buy that one. Got Brindamore Ward 06. All the good stuff.
That's pretty good.
Anyway, there's a link in the YouTube description and your podcast description. Click that link. We get the referral fee on that one. So go check that out. Speaking of corporate champions, Whitaker and Hamer is helping us with our OG birthday bash. Check them out, wh.lawyer. We're going to be at Shady's tonight starting at 6 o'clock. A reminder. Just come through. Be a good time. And Whitaker and Hamer is helping us out with that. They own the bar. So that's how it works. And of course, they've been with us from the jump the last 2 years. So that's been greatly appreciated. Just like our friends at Breeze Through. So with more playoff hockey, by all means, drop by the Lenovo Center location. Get all your beer needs, snack needs, get gas, wash your car with all the disgusting pollen and the stuff that's coming off the oak trees. So that car wash is doing work right now.
Did you pay for our StreamYard on North State Bank?
Yeah. Why?
I just got a text to see if it was fraud or not.
Oh, so it is May 1st. Yes, that makes sense because we pay for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, we pay
That's
for
how much we pay for StreamYard in a year?
for the year. Yeah. Is that too much or too little?
No, I just didn't know. All right. So reply V if valid, F for fraud. I should
V-
probably put V otherwise. though.
Otherwise, this live stream might shut
Okay.
down.
I'm glad you're here. Because I would have been like, well, we don't pay that much for StreamYard, do we?
We do. Our overhead costs are still low.
Reply,
but that's one of them.
V
Yes,
for
hit V.
valid.
Yes.
Boom.
Okay. Good.
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense because in order for us to start up on May 3rd, we needed StreamYard, so I paid for the full year service.
And every year now.
Well, yeah.
Perfect.
And yeah, I think the first one was on my credit card. So now it's on the official business. I'm glad you were here
Me too.
because otherwise,
We would be in trouble.
I don't know what would happen. Anyway, big thanks to Breeze Through. Go check them out. They're gonna have OG
Wish
Light.
that was Oviel.
I know, right?
You're gonna love these end caps for people who don't follow me on the Twitter.
So so OG Light will be there at Breeze Through once we put those.
Someone was
bad boys in
asking
cans.
what for the flavor. It's just beer flavored beer.
Yeah, it's
right?
beer flavored
There's no Bapple involved. here.
No. There's no flavor to it unless the flavor is beer. Do you like beer? Then you're gonna like this beer. So
Wait. You ready for these end caps?
what are the end caps? Show me the end
I mean,
caps.
these are just there's a little bit of a mock up here, but I know the people who are watching on YouTube are going to appreciate this. There it is. That's what Glenn's working on for us.
Those are the end caps, or they're gonna look like.
That's what they will look like.
Because that's the
yeah.
tabletop cornhole.
I sent him the logo that you sent me for OG Light, so it'll be something like that with like an OG Light. It'll be like us like.
That might not be the official logo. I'm
Okay,
kind of,
well,
I'm kind of tweaking it right now.
We'll work on it.
But
We'll work on it.
hey, look, I just appreciate Glenn giving me that amount of hair.
That was nice.
That's very nice of him. That's
Yeah.
very considerate of him.
I'm suspect it was like AI, but right?
Maybe
That's got to be.
maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, go to breezethrough.com. And of course, our friends at Miller Lending. Gordon, Joe's road dog, when it comes to hitting up Danville, he's going to help you out when it comes to refinancing your home with no closing costs. So hit him up today, millerlending.com/the-OG. It's going to take you to a landing page. Before you start, let me complete this before I look at the YouTube comment section and before you spit the Bapple all over your computer. So go to millerlending.com/the-OG or call them directly at 919-447-3377. You tell them we sent you. That's why that landing page is important. I'm not looking at the comments yet. And with Miller Lending and not paying for closing costs, you're getting the rate. Here's the thing about closing costs. They are lender friendly, not consumer friendly. You're paying them for a rate that might not exist in 3 months. And typically when you buy down a rate, it's going to take you about 8 years to break even on it, just to save what, $30, $40? That doesn't make any sense. So do the thing that does make sense. Contact our friends at Miller Lending. Should I look at the comments? From Ken, looking like Ovies went to Turkey for a long vacation.
That's not the best one.
Yeah. From Mike, is that Ovies from 03? Damn, guys. From Paul, Ovies hairline too good. Yeah, no, you're right. It needs a little more shine on the hairline. You're absolutely right about this.
Anyway, go to Miller Lending.
Go to Miller Lending.
Jeez. Save money. Do like I did.
Yeah.
Whew.
You know, if I was still in my radio days, I would close out the week with a whole like, dads are having a week in sports. And that would be the tease.
Next.
That would be the tease. I'll tell you why sports dads are having a week. But first, and do the rest of it right. Let's work backwards, shall we? Let's go back to the weekend with Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. That's
Okay.
where, quote unquote, dads having a week began. As Shedeur Sanders fell and everything else. So now not only does Deion have to watch his kid drop all the way to the 5th round and then have that become the sports topic of Monday, and people just kind of going full WWE to see how crazier and crazier and crazier they can get. Well, you also have to deal with the takes. And guess who had a dang take, man? Cam Newton.
Oh, I like this one, actually.
Cam Newton on his 4th and 1 podcast. By the way, our Blue Wire colleague, Cam Newton, me and Joe, co-workers. Here's what Cam had to say about Shedeur.
Shedeur Sanders, this message is directed to you. Lead with work, not clout. I think he took on the persona of a DB, not a QB. As a DB, you're able to do certain things. You can speak loud and be rambunctious and have that bravado. But as a quarterback, reminder, you are the CEO of that franchise. What do I mean? You have what I've labeled the super six that you have to pander to. Number one, the owner. Number two, the general manager. Number three, the head coach. Number four, the position coach. Number five, the players. And also number six, the fans. This is the best situation for Shedeur because he has to claw his way to the top. Does he have the capabilities of doing it? Absolutely. And if I'm in his camp, I'm telling him, like, bro, let's get to work. Let's control what we can control now. I do see Shedeur Sanders starting for the Cleveland Browns at some point this year.
I don't know how to process this coming from Cam Newton.
No, but that's who I want to hear from.
That's who you want to hear from?
Yeah. He's lived it.
He has lived it.
Yeah.
He also didn't.
I haven't.
He also didn't shy away from it. Here's the other thing about Cam Newton and Shedeur Sanders that Cam Newton didn't necessarily put out, but maybe he doesn't need to because I'm picking up what he's putting down. Shedeur Sanders ain't Cam Newton. And I think that's ultimately what it kind of comes down to. I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders can't play in the NFL. What I'm saying is that Shedeur Sanders is not, getting back to that phrase that I've used all week, one of one.
Yeah.
His dad was one of one. Cam Newton was one of one. Cam Newton, let's take at face value what was being said about Shedeur Sanders during these draft process interviews. I forgot where I saw it, but essentially it was like during one of these meetings with a team and they were breaking down film. He never really took accountability. He's like, well, what are you going to do for me? What are my wide receivers going to look like? What's my offensive line going to look like?
Yeah.
With the Giants, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, if now in the Cam Newton case, did Cam Newton ask any of those questions when he was dragging Auburn to a national championship? Was Cam Newton asking any of those questions in an MVP season when he's out there throwing to the likes of who? Now I'm trying to remember the wide receiver group in that MVP
Philly Brown.
Yes.
The white guy. The other white guy.
Brett Burson,
right? The guy who dropped every.
Ted Ginn?
I was gonna say the guy who dropped every other deep ball. Ted Ginn.
Ginn,
always open.
Right.
Dropped every other deep ball though.
Right. We're watching.
He did have Jericho for 1 year.
But not that year. It wasn't that year though.
Not
right?
the MVP.
It wasn't the MVP year. Who was it that ended up having?
No, he was the MVP of the year. They went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Jericho that year.
What was the year that? What was the player? Who was the offensive lineman that it looked like Madden was glitching as he was getting pushed on that turf?
You need Brownlow for this.
I know Brownlow would remember all these things. Of course,
me.
she'd also start crying. But that's that's the other thing that it keeps getting lost in all these conversations. You can be that if Mike Remmers. Mike Remmers. Thank you. And he was a Mike something. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. I'm having a day. I was still tired from the double overtime. You can do that. You can wear the funky hats and the outfits and the rabbit tails and all that other kind of stuff when you're Cam. Shedeur ain't Cam. And that's the one thing I would have liked to have heard from Cam Newton.
No, I think he was taking it as a outspoken, egocentric black man. I think that's what he was trying to
maybe
say to him. I think he was also trying to talk to him as someone who's been through it.
That's true too.
You know what I mean? Like so many people were so judgmental. Like as Darren Gant famously said, Cam Newton makes people stupid.
Well, Shedeur Sanders has taken that mantle.
Yeah,
he is absolutely taking.
To
that
your
mantle.
point, Shedeur 6'1", if that, and he's not this physical, specimen that could play any position on the field. Different games, different styles, but I do think that I think the one thing that's being sold short on Shedeur is the DNA.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand.
Okay, that's
like
fair.
How many different people do we have to see? Like literally next year, Arch Manning's going to be the number one pick in the draft.
I know,
and it's going to be like, well, look, his grandfather, his uncles.
I know,
right?
I know.
Well,
but that's also something that I've said a bunch, and that the Mannings are the closest thing we have to sports royalty in America. That's the closest to it. The Mannings can never do any wrong. Now, continuing with the dads, this is connected to Shedeur Sanders. He got prank called. He wasn't the only one who got prank called. I know our friend Jonathan Jones was on CBS Sports this week explaining that the league has a larger problem in that there were at least 3 other prank calls that occurred beyond that of Shedeur Sanders, and it has nothing to do with the famous dad or any of that stuff. But specific to the Shedeur Sanders prank call, we knew it was the son of the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons who had to meet the press and apologize.
First of all, I'd like to publicly apologize to Shedeur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blank, Terry Fontenot, Reed Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry. The NFL has taken action, and I fully respect the punishment. We take full responsibility, my son and myself, and we will not be appealing the fine in any way. Going forward,
Good call.
I promise my son and I will work hard to demonstrate we are better than this. Again, I'm deeply sorry for our actions.
Dad of the year. Dad of the year 2025.
I also forgot this was the jabroni who replaced Robert Saleh with the Jets.
Yeah.
So he's already been punished enough.
True.
He had to coach the Jets and Aaron Rodgers the last, 10 games of the NFL season.
The reason why I say that Albrecht is the dad of the year, because in that situation, he's trying to take some accountability in what happened when really he has no reason to take any sort of accountability when his kid was the dumbass here. He's like, we're going to learn from this. You had to learn nothing, my dude. Unless you want to do some introspection about like, where did I fail as a dad? Where my 21-year-old son thought it would be really, really smart to take a number off of my work iPad and not only do that and do the prank call, but then go double down and be stupid about it by filming the entire thing as though that wouldn't be easily found.
Your kids are going to make decisions no matter how you teach them or how you raise them.
Trust me, I know that. But all I'm saying is, in that situation, if it were me, I'd be like, look, my kid was a dumbass. I yelled at him.
No, you wouldn't.
I yelled at him. Yes, I would.
No, you would not sell your kid out.
Absolutely. At 21, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
If that's probably the thing that's been bothering me the most about this is that we're acting like, well, he's 21 and he ain't a kid.
No, I get
he
that.
He knew full damn well what he was doing.
You will always think of your own children, your sons, as your kids. That's always.
Yeah.
And you will always protect your children. You always will. Doesn't matter how old they are.
You're a better dad than me then.
No, I'm not.
In this situation,
no,
you'd be a better dad than me because I'd be at that press conference going, man, I'll use Jacob in this case.
Would not.
I said, I thought I raised Jacob right not to do stupid shit. I guess I failed as a dad. That's where I would turn it. I guess like this is really a reflection on me. I thought I did a better job as a father to make sure that if you're going to do some stupid shit, don't film it unless you're doing it for podcast content. For work, because you have an LLC that has to make money.
I mean, when your sons make mistakes, you question your parenting. There's no doubt about that. But your instinct will always be to protect your own. Always.
Like I said, you're a better dad than me. Like LeBron James, another dad of the year, made sure that his son could be on the Lakers with him. They're out. They're done.
That was bad.
It's getting spicy in LA, by the way.
It's bad.
Before we talk about what this means for LeBron James, I thought it was interesting that JJ Redick was already feeling the heat when he stormed out of a pregame press conference.
Oh, Redick?
Redick. JJ knew full damn well where this was going. And this was the pregame press conference where he walked out because he got a question about like minutes and lineup roster, all that kind of stuff.
Are you saying because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? You think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single time out?
No, I just think there's a lot of coaches lean on their assistants in those situations.
As do I, every single time. That's a weird assumption. Right. Are you saying that because I...
There you go. It was all about fourth quarter substitutions and things like that. Some questions as to whether or not they should have played Luka and LeBron James as much as they did, or they just understood that the only way they were going to make this work in this series, they were cooked anyway against Minnesota. So you might as well see what you got and leave it all out there. And of course, that looked bad last night.
Yeah. I think ultimately JJ Redick is a guy who is crazy competitive, but he has also, and boy, I don't like myself for saying this, but it's the truth sometimes. He's never won anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
Okay.
Like, it's really hard to be in the game that long and not have the ultimate prize to show for it, whether it was the championship at Duke, whether it was a championship at any point in his playing career.
Yeah.
And now as a coach, and you look at Luka and LeBron and how many chances you're really going to get that are as clean as that.
Yeah.
And I know it's his first year, but NBA coaches, you want to talk about job security. I mean, you might as well be in Al-Qaeda. I mean, they have better job security than NBA coaches. So I think he's looking at this as a lifelong pursuit as a competitor. And it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Well, I guess the question is,
it's hard to accept.
How the other thing too is who's he going to be coaching going forward? Because we're at an inflection point for the Lakers
for sure.
Luka for sure. Not so sure about LeBron James, because I thought this was the more interesting thing about LeBron last night, in that he was asked about the minutes, which is why JJ got all upset. And LeBron brought up AD and how he got moved out of here when he had asked for some things.
LeBron, basically from mid-January on, right when AD got injured, you guys started playing a lot of centerless basketball, and that required a lot from you and Doe and Rui, and then Vando once he got back. Just from a physical, like, taxing standpoint, how tough was that for the last 3.5 months to play that style, and do you feel like that caught up at all in this series?
No comment. I'll never say that, because my guy AD said what he needed, and then he was gone the following week. So I got no comment. I put that uniform on every night. I gave everything I had, and that's all that matters.
I love when LeBron goes into, man, I just work here. I love when he does that kind of stuff, as though he doesn't have any sort of influence on these things, which includes the fact that he got his kid on that team, which is another story in and of itself.
It was a really tough matchup for them.
It was.
Minnesota is a defensive-minded team, and they have not only a bus driver, but the motherfucking bus driver in Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is that guy.
Like, if you're in a series with LeBron and Luka and you're staring both of them down, like,
he doesn't care.
Who else you bringing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you add in
Who else you bring? I don't want you to bring anybody else.
But
I'm good.
The mentality that they have defensively, Minnesota. Now, horses for courses, Minnesota might run up with Golden State. Plays a beautiful style, right? Maybe sometimes you can't outplay the beautiful style with your defense. They might run up to Denver with Jokic, who's a lot like Luka and or LeBron, where you run the offense through him, and it's this singular type star. The Lakers failed themselves. I hate to say it, but at the deadline, when they didn't move the kid from Dalton Connect, the kid from Tennessee, they failed themselves. You can't have Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect. I mean, there's a rule of white guys on your NBA championship teams at this point.
I mean, I was also told there's a rule of Russians on hockey teams, and yet the Canes seem to be breaking that one. So
only 2 though right now, 3.
They got 3,
and the goalie who hopefully will not play. Now. Well, Nikishin's not going to play in this series.
We'll see.
So.
No, I'm saying they're hanging out.
I think when they failed Mark Williams' physical, because clearly he kept playing for the Hornets. It's not like.
Did you see? Did you see him tweet out like a smirky face emoji with the Lakers being?
I'm not suggesting just having one big, but their lineup was flawed. And then I do think JJ was exposed in this theory in this series, but I also think, at some point, like the new wave comes up. It ain't who's in front of you. It's who's behind you.
No.
And Edwards is that guy. He really is.
Yeah, it's interesting. The new wave is going to hit you regardless. And this story has been told a bunch of times, and it might be the reason. It might be top of mind because I recently read a book on these subjects related to music. I was reading Steve Hyden's book about Pearl Jam when I was gone for spring break on the flight. And it's a really good book if you're into Pearl Jam specifically, or if you're into that particular era of rock music. When that Seattle sound was coming up and everything else, you'd find the book interesting. And Hayden doesn't want to rehash the whole Nirvana MTV thing, but it's the same thing. You talk about that new wave. You don't know when the new wave is going to hit you, and you don't know when that new wave is going to knock you out. And it's very similar to what happened when Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit hit MTV for the first time, and everybody decided right then and there, yeah, Warrant, Cherry Pie, we're done with you. Hair bands, we're done with you. We're on to the next thing. You never know when it's going to hit you, and that's kind of similar to what might have happened last night. But there's 2 Galaxy Brain takes that have been floated in the last 24 hours that intrigued me. One of them makes sense. The other one does not. The first one, the one that does not make sense, is that somewhere Nico Harrison of the Dallas Mavericks is proven right by the failure of the Lakers, who were running hot after the trade, to flame out in the playoffs the way that they did. That Nico Harrison ultimately was proven right.
I mean, no, there's no supporting cast to those two guys.
No, the answer is no, because in the process, regardless of what happens with Luka, you torched yourself in that town that loved Luka. That's the point that it seems to be missing. No, you got rid of the guy that people liked. You're done. He's done. And the way he's handled himself beyond that has also been bad. The other Galaxy brain take, which I think is actually one that I subscribe to, and it gets back to the whole dads are having a week segment here. The question was posed, LeBron James' Lakers tenure, has it been a success based on what we've seen in the playoff output with LeBron James? They did win a title. Okay. And they got to the finals another time. No, they haven't got to the finals yet. That was only that one time in the bubble. What has the LeBron Lakers era been? Or how was this year a failure? You got Luka, blah, 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 blah. This year, regardless of what you think would happen with LeBron James, will always be a success. No matter what you think about what happened with Bronny James, he got to play with his kid. He accomplished something in a
success to him.
A success to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't. After that, he does not care. So
Yeah.
LeBron James leaves this year going, man, I'm good.
That's the difference between someone like LeBron who has titles and someone like JJ who's sitting there chasing them.
He's chasing them. I mean, that was pretty much the basis of the entire Lakers show on HBO, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of what you think about LeBron and the Lakers, you can't tell LeBron anything because he got to check off yet another thing in his very storied career that a lot of other guys have not been able to do. He got to play with his kid. So you can't tell LeBron anything. All right, moving on to other dads who are having a week. This went under my radar, but I did not realize that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Tyrese Halliburton and Halliburton's dad got into it. I'm assuming you saw these clips.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see this. I did not know this existed until this morning. So, where's the let's see, where's the scrum? Here it is. This is from the night that the Bucks got knocked out. There's a lot of conversation about where Giannis could end up this offseason. I'd be curious. I can't imagine he's gonna stay in Milwaukee, but we'll see. So they're embracing. We're good. Here's Halliburton. Halliburton clearly says something.
That's Matherin.
Oh, is that Matherin?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, somebody says something.
Yeah.
Giannis, not happy.
No.
And in the process, we get to Halliburton's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis ends up having a post-game press conference to explain what exactly happened. Let me see if I can pull this clip up. This is from Rob Perez.
Oh, so Halliburton's dad comes out with a towel.
He comes out with a towel.
Holds it in front of him, and he'll tell you
good
what he
game.
said.
Here's what Giannis has to say.
Kind of everything. Just what happened kind of out on the floor after the game.
Nothing. This is the last time I'm going to say. I won't talk a lot. We lost the game. It doesn't really matter. One thing I'll say is that I believe like being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there's can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you got to talk shit, and it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't. Okay, and that doesn't say anything. I'm not trying to minimize their effort, but I remember when I won. My mom that she's never missed the games from February 11th or 13th when she came in Milwaukee against the Knicks. She never missed a game. When we won the championship, I remember my mom, she was scared to cross. She was like, am I allowed to come and hug my son? I see, except now my brother does media. For this year, he wants to come back and play. But like, except in that, you've never seen my family like see courtside. See, this is not something that we do. We don't. I try to keep my family away from the game. But losing the game, emotions run high. Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think he's a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This the F we do. This, I feel like that's very, very disrespectful. My dad, if you guys go and ask and learn, my dad's not with us no more. My dad used to come in the family room and he was the most respectful person ever. When you come from nothing and you've worked your whole life to sell stuff in the street, and your whole life you'll be scared of the police of deporting you and sending you back to your country. You have to protect your kids with all means. You create this mentality of being humble your whole life, to not kind of disrespect anybody, not make the tension high, the emotions high, so anybody can snitch on you, say something bad about you. So when he came here, I remember I was like, Dad, why are you so humble? Why are you going to the family room? You don't even say a word. You sit in the back. Why are you like that? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. That's how I grew up. That's what I had around. So when I see other dads, which don't disrespect me, maybe if my son play basketball, I might be in the court. I might be the one on the court, and like 20 years later, you can play this interview and say, Giannis, you're contradicting yourself. But we'll see in 20 years. But I'm talking about right now how I feel. Having somebody's dad, which I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for his son, and I'm happy that he's happy for his son. That's how you're supposed to feel. But coming to me and disrespecting me and cursing at me, I think is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Okay? And I'm not the guy that points fingers, because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, for him to say, to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talked with him at the end. And I think we're in a good place.
There you go. There's I thought the whole segment, I know it was like 3+ minutes. I thought the whole thing was compelling. And we're talking family dynamics.
He's the best.
All that kind of stuff. I thought it was a really, really compelling piece from Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I will say this, in the case of Halliburton's dad, there are just some parents in sports that are living vicariously through their kids, even as their kids. I think in a weird sort of way, Halliburton's dad apologized, by the way. But what I'm getting at here is, it doesn't matter if you're watching your kid play a youth game or, in this particular case, a professional game. You still ride for that kid. I kind of get it, and I kind of get where the emotions run high. I mean, heck, I've gotten to the point when I watch Jacob play hockey, I actually isolate myself. Like, I mean, if you watch me at a youth hockey game, I'm usually in the corner, away from everybody, because A, I want to watch the game. B, I don't want to hear something that's going to set me off. So I have to isolate. So I understand all these dynamics, but at the same time, I also understand where Giannis Antetokounmpo is coming from. And finally, and dads are having a hell of a week, we got Bill Belichick.
Wait a second.
Well, he's daddy, if you think about it.
Wait, I thought you said.
Hear me out.
Okay.
He's daddy in some cases, depending on how you use that phrase. And I got to wonder what the kids think watching all this stuff unfold. We do have one thing that's come out today, and I was not going to talk about Belichick.
That's what I said.
I wasn't. I swear I wasn't. But our guy JC sent me a tweet. I did not know this happened 3 hours ago, but Mike Lombardi was on with Kirk Minihane up in Boston. Mike Lombardi, this is the tweet. Exclusive. University of North Carolina football general manager Mike Lombardi joined the show to explain Jordan Hudson's role with the program. Oh, please.
Hello?
Mike, it's Kirk Minihane from Barstool Sports. Mike, it's Kirk Minihane, Barstool Sports. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
What's up, Kirk?
We're live to tape. We have questions. We're trying to figure out we've been talking about it. We talked about Portnoy a minute ago. Can you explain to us what this woman's role is with UNC? We're just confused.
Actually, I'm in a meeting right now going over recruiting, so that's kind of what my focus is right now. So.
How significant a role does she have with the recruiting at this point? Is she the lead recruiter or
no? I'm in recruiting,
yeah,
and I'm working on that. So that's about it, Kirk. Thanks.
All right, Mike, hang in there. Good to talk to you.
They cold called his ass. That's the first time I've seen that clip.
They didn't know he was.
No, they cold called his ass, and he picked up.
Okay.
So I bring this up. What? You're processing here.
Well, I think Lombardi and Bill Belichick made a little bit of their money or made a little bit of their post street cred by going on with McAfee, a former Barstool guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you sleep with the fishes.
I get it. I
You
get
see
it.
what happens.
Shout out to where'd Dimitri go? Minahane is one of the single worst human parents alive. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But that's not the point. The point is, I salute for them cold calling Mike Lombardi.
But so he answered because he knew them from McAfee or something else.
Oh yeah. That's why.
Yeah, we can't cold call Lombardi and him like pick up the phone and us.
You can cold call Roy.
Yes.
Which we've done.
Yes.
But that's not the point here. You cold called Lombardi.
Oh, is he with Zolak, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can cold call certain people because you have a good relationship, and the reason why you're cold calling them is in fun.
Yes.
They cold called him to be assholes.
Gotcha. It's a little gotcha.
Which is classic sports talk radio, dude.
My bad.
I know you've been
I want to
drinking.
play the game.
Well, you know who would appreciate that? You know who probably would have loved that bit? You know who would have loved that bit? The life coach.
No, well, it's
life coach
there.
Life coach probably would have suggested that bit.
Yes.
Hey, do you have his number? Just call him during the show. See what happens, right? Never mind you're torching a relationship, but whatever. Anyway, the only reason why I'm bringing what?
Oh, Steve's wife. I want the former wife. That's what I want. I want Belichick's former wives to spill it. That's what I want.
We're going to talk about this a little bit more on the on the mailbag tomorrow.
You want to get a radio tease here? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow the mailbag is essentially all Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, because I have thoughts, right?
$8 million in real estate holdings.
Huh? How does that work? How does that work?
Julia Roberts is too old to play in the sequel, right? Because I'm not really sure there's any other way to describe it at this point.
There isn't.
I'm being serious right
No,
now.
I know.
My dad's 82.
Yeah.
If he showed up with some 32-year-old, I would be like, I'm freezing all of your assets right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm putting your home in my trust.
Dude, Barkley was on with Dan Patrick today. I don't know if you saw that clip.
Yeah.
But Barkley, I mean, that man apparently his role in other people's lives is to do interventions. Because remember, Barkley also went to Jordan and be like, hey, man, this gambling thing, you better chill out on that. And Jordan said, fuck you.
Get out.
Get out.
Michael Jordan. $7 million in real estate assets?
Eight.
Joe, they're not even married.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Not anyway. Isn't that how... I think the money is how this thing all falls apart for Carolina. Not being judgmental, but money is actually how this falls apart for Carolina. She will overstep with one of these LLCs, and that's how it falls apart. Because then you get to the legal grounds. Yes, very well.
Sean,
very well.
Air
Sean.
Jordan. Very good.
Well.
Very good. Very good. Actually, I think the best part about that New York Post piece was that the parents.
This is the Daily Mail.
Was it Daily Mail?
It is. They aggregated
just
from the
aggregated
Daily Mail.
Okay.
Let's give people who actually do the credit.
Sorry.
Do the work the credit.
Sorry. The way I got it was from the New York Post.
Yeah.
I know you sent it to me as well. What I loved about that is apparently Jordan's mom, I did not know this, she owns a sex toy shop and museum. Now, if let's life coach this up, all right?
We would go do a show from the...
Yes.
Or we would call and be like, how much for the bill?
We're going.
How do we go?
We're going to go.
And buy something.
And you're going to video me, and I'm going to ask the mom.
For the
hey,
Belichick.
I want to get this is for ACC kickoff. If Bill comes to our table, I want to get him something nice. What should I get him? What do you think would work? What would you suggest for a 73-year-old? You know, mix it up a little bit while they're hanging out at a nice Charlotte at the Westin. Too much? Too much?
Hey, baby, I hear the podcast. Call in. It's time for Hey Joe.
I always love when I find the line for you. It's always my favorite. Always my favorite. Anyway, big thanks to State Farm for being...
No, Dimitri.
What did Dimitri say? Well, Joe, my daughter loves nipple play. Jordan's mom. Maybe they might have a very open relationship and they talk about these things. Anyway. Anyway, call Matt Davis at State Farm. Get your home and auto. Where's my State Farm? There it is. Matt Davis, InsureGarner.com. 919-779.
The rest of the podcast will be ad-free.
8277. Oh, please. Oh, please. We've done worse before getting into an ad read. We've done worse. Okay. You're the man who's talking about cunnilingus a couple of weeks ago.
In the clinical sense of the word, sir.
Yeah. And all I'm saying is in some situations, you know what? Maybe that's not getting it done anymore. And you need an aid. And apparently Jordan's mom, according to that report, can help you. Too much. Anyway, Matt Davis, State Farm, InsureGarner.com, 919-779-8277. Save money.
You were also right, by the way.
On home and auto. Right about what? Oh, you're hot. Yeah, you're boiling in that thing, dude. You're boiling in that thing. Big thanks to, maybe you need a room for all the things that you picked up. Just saying. You might need a room. I've seen Zillow gone wild. I've seen Zillow gone wild. I've seen some of the things that happen in the basement.
Maybe you want to celebrate the birthday.
maybe that's the case. Go to Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. Again, that's myhtr.com. More importantly, on a serious note, I understand. On a serious note, I see you with the strap. I see you with the strap. What's that strap for, Joe?
Fighting.
Oh, okay. So you might, look, I get it. You might have a special room.
Did you really just go on a serious note?
But on a serious note.
Like we were giving wine to Dudley and
on a serious note, you might be looking to sell your house and you're seeing these ads about cash offers and whatnot. On a serious note, you might be seeing these notes about on cash offers. Don't do the cash offers, the guaranteed cash offers. You're just leaving money on the table. So maximize the value of your home, sell it with Hometown Realty. Take advantage of it, and then use all that money to go visit that shop up in Maine. All right. Big thanks to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. You just bought that wonderful home with an incredible deck, an incredible patio. You don't want it ruined by mosquitoes. So contact them today, bugsbite.com, Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. What? Maybe you got to go a little bit more industrial. Makes sense to me. Our friends at Keller Williams Commercial Real Estate, the Donnelly team, they can help you out. But yesterday, Chip and I were talking about one gorilla versus 100 men. And you might need to create a CrossFit training center so that you can prepare your 100 men to take on the one gorilla.
Sorry, I missed that.
It was a very, very philosophical conversation.
Yeah.
So you're looking for that kind of a thing? Maybe you want to open up your own CrossFit gym. You just need the warehouse space for it because all you really need is an open area with like a big giant tire and big ropes, right? Well, TriangleNCCommercial.com can help you find the perfect warehouse to put all those giant tires and big ropes. 919-616-8681. What? I don't know why you're like losing it over there. I've only had one pour of bourbon. All right. I would call this, what did I call this segment? The Giglio's on the toilet sending me reels segment.
Oh, these are good ones.
My favorite
Are you
segment.
doing the, I don't want to spoil it.
No.
I'll just pay attention.
Let's get these as.
But did I pay for parking?
I did.
Okay.
I don't know if you did. All right. What's the first thing that I'm pulling up here? Yes. This is from what kind of hold music would you put on for Darth Vader? Here we go.
What kind of hold music would they put you on if you wanted to speak to Darth Vader?
Did you say on hold with Darth Vader?
Honey Planet.
Jim, I'll totally do the voice.
Yes, I would be thrilled. Let's go.
You have reached Vader and Associates, formerly the Death Star. Please hold, as all of our representatives are busy helping other callers. Your estimated wait time is between 12 and 20 parsecs. Yes, we know it's a distance, you nerd.
Dude, that hold music is amazing.
That's really good.
I need Brian to come up with something similar for the for a bump. That's what I need. That is what I need. All right, next up on the Giglio Dump, What do we got here from
It
Pac-Man's
I
basketball?
was gonna say it doesn't really get any better than the Star Wars one. I probably would have closed that with that.
Oh, I'm
but-
just pulling these up as I have them
okay.
on the tabs here on Chrome. All right, Will Wade. Are they selling season tickets? All right,
Yes,
let me see.
good.
Will Wade from NC State men's basketball. How are you? Get out of here. What's up, man? Yo. Yo. It's Will Wade. Get out of here. I'm serious. I'm calling you. You're on the season ticket list. We got to get you to renew your season tickets on the lower sideline, man.
Nah, man.
Well, I'm serious. Huh?
No, dude. Who is it?
It's Will Wade.
All right, well, you sound like him. This is absurd.
It's me. I'm serious. It's me. I'm calling from Patrick in the ticket office's phone.
I'm so pumped that you're here. So pumped, man.
We appreciate all your support and love to have you renew your season tickets and make sure you're in Lenovo ready to roll.
All right. Yep. Let's roll, man. You closed it.
All right. Let's get it done. I look forward to meeting you.
Now, all right. Now, I wasn't paying attention the first time I sent this to you.
Yeah.
First of all, love this.
That's a great bit.
Because you can't be at your press conference and be like, I want sold out, blah, 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 blah. So put a little effort in. I like that.
That's good.
But I didn't realize he was calling the people who are paying 20 G's. Like, I would love this if it was like section 320.
Oh, well,
you know,
we
like
don't
the guy who
know.
only spent $102 and be like, you know what? We still need you. I mean, it's just me picking nits. It's
No,
just me
I get
picking
that.
nits.
I get that. See, it's you're in one direction. I'm in the other direction. I want the real from NC State men's basketball from the NC State fan that went, love that you're here, but I ain't spending any money until I see you win some games. That would have been funny. And Will was like, no, I promise. Like, we're gonna do this, like all that kind of stuff.
A reckoning.
That's good, wholesome content right there. That would have been funny if they called one of our OG sports phone callers who's a season ticket holder. It's like, I was promised a reckoning, and I'm looking at this portal right now, Will, and I ain't really seeing a reckoning right now. What's going on? I would have liked to have seen that content, but that's not the point. The point is that all jokes aside, on a serious note.
Paul's got to get one.
On a serious note, Joe.
If I could be serious.
If I could be serious for a moment. Well done by NC State, because NC State has had a problem when it comes to fan service as of late. And Will Wade is trying to correct that. So good on them. Let's see. The Falcon DC kid is calling. Oh, geez. All right. Next up in the Giglio dump, what do we got here? We got, your boy.
Yes.
We got Bill O'Brien.
I sent you this one for a very specific reason.
It's you are on the games with names algorithm, buddy.
Yep.
You get Edelman's podcast fed to you all the time.
Yep.
It's actually kind of funny. All right, here we go.
Stories. I can remember like the quarterback meetings when I first got there. So
real quick, he's talking about Bill Belichick, his time with him, all that kind of stuff. All right.
that was Tom, Matt Castle, who you know is one of the funniest human beings of all time. Up there with Matt Light, Rich Ornberger, like those three guys.
Outrageous.
These are very funny
They're
guys.
funny guys.
As you know, Bill would come in later in the week, meet with the quarterbacks, and Bill would take his shoes off. And Bill, as you know, Bill didn't wear socks.
Yeah.
So and at that time, the quarterback meeting room was pretty small. And so I remember this one meeting, and Matt Castle was like, "What is that smell? Like, what is that smell?" And like nobody says anything, and we're all like, Matt Castle, he was the very funny guy who didn't care about making anyone uncomfortable. He loved making you, and so he was like, no, seriously, like, what is that? Bill, is that your feet? And Bill, I'll never forget this. Bill looked at him and goes, Castle, just shut the fuck up.
That's a funny story.
It is. Do your job, man. Don't worry about the feet.
Yeah.
Worry about the smell. We're here to watch film and get better every day.
Yeah.
Do your job.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Oh, hey, yeah. By the way, Bill O'Brien's the coach at Boston College, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Did you notice in that clip what he was wearing?
He had a North Face hat on.
Did you notice in the clip the Q-zip that he's wearing?
Oh, yeah. He was wearing a Boston College Q-zip. Weird.
The small things are the small things. The details are the details.
Mm.
You mean the school that's paying you millions, you might want to promote at some point? That's odd.
I have no idea.
Really weird.
All right. Next up on the Giglio dump. Are we betting on things now?
Oh, yeah. This looks really good.
It's 3 a.m. and instead of sleeping, I'm up betting on German roll the ball straightest thingy. Okay. Oh, I would get into this.
Yeah.
I would absolutely get into this.
Yeah. Oh, play the commentary though.
Die marschiert durch.
Aber das heißt noch lange nichts. Also ich traue mich gar nicht.
Eine ruhige Kugel schieben steht
Ich glaube, in
demnächst
der
im
offenen Schlag ins Star der Sendung hat das
Wahnsinn.
noch keiner geschafft.
That might have been a parsec.
Nerds. That reminds me of the fair where you have to roll the ball onto the metal rails to see if you can get it to stay in the middle part. That's what this reminds me of. Yeah, I would absolutely bet on that. All right, next up on the Giglio Dump. This is like a full-on game show.
It must be, but this
I'm betting
this
on
one's
German
really
couples
good too.
board volleyball. Are we doing this tonight at the birthday bash? Who we got here?
Muss mit den Armen die unterschiedlichen Körpergrößen ausgleichen. Der war clever, gleich rüber zu spielen. Also wirklich, das wird extrem schwierig, dann wieder die Bewegung zu machen. Und deswegen hatte da Knossi so ein bisschen die Initiative ergriffen und hat das Ding rübergehauen. Und das war sehr, sehr gut. Man muss mit den Armen die unterschiedlichen Körpergrößen ausgleichen. Der war clever, gleich rüber.
Good. You think we would be good at that?
I don't think we would be good at that.
No?
We're not coordinated
Okay.
enough. We're not coordinated. Now, speaking of things of betting, did you see that we finally had the first sperm races held?
I really don't want to see the highlights of this though.
So here's the highlights of the sperm race on YouTube. Wait, I don't want to CBS.
Last December, Jeffrey Hinton was awarded the Nobel Prize for his
Wait, that's not
pioneering.
it. Hold on a second. Here we go. I'll bet on this. I'll mute it. Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. Why would you not watch this? This is the purest form of competition. It's tiny little tadpoles on a little circuit going to who knows where. Is it because you know how the race started? It started at the sex shop up in Maine. I need to see a little UNC logo on there.
That they would put the logo on. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
Big thanks to Rowback. We're going to be giving away some exclusive Rowback quarter zips at the birthday bash tonight. If you don't win any, it's okay. It's understandable. We might do something special with Rowback sometime in the summer. But in the meantime, they got your summer fits. I saw the drop the new they brought back the agave or an updated agave polo. Might have to cop that. City of Oaks. I got a rehearsal dinner I have to go to next Friday. I will be wearing that to the rehearsal dinner.
I got my money line on today's.
I like that one. The busted brackets is a good one. The AV carts is a good one as well. It's all there at Rowback. Check them out online at rowback.com. Use that promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. I've been drinking Weller during today's show. Some of you might have been able to tell that. May I suggest you drop on by our friends at Longleaf Swine? They've got Weller and other great bourbons.
I'm putting
Longleaf
Weller at the top of my list now, by the way, of drinkable bourbons.
Which one? Green, red, blue, black?
I don't always have the red because the red was our famous tailgate.
That was
from
the
24.
the antique.
But the green, drinkable.
Okay.
I'm going now. Weller, E.H. Taylor. Those are my rankings.
I'm still confused with your. I'm still confused with your Blanton's dislike.
It's not a dislike. I just
like not ranking it up there.
No.
Well, here's the thing: they got Bland's at Longleaf as well. So you want to do all these kind of all these kind of things? They've got it at Longleaf. Buffalo Trace is the house bourbon. They do some great stuff with Buffalo Trace there. What are you making a face about?
Nope. I will not besmirch our corporate champions.
Okay.
It's not my favorite.
It's fine, but when you get it with Shorty, because you can do
Shorties are though
the Sandbagger, which they give you the High Life Shorty with a shot of Buffalo Trace. Who says no?
Did you know we had an Elijah Craig 18 for tonight?
We do?
Yeah, that's not there. It's in the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never had Elijah Craig 18.
Well, I guess we won't tonight either. But.
No, I mean, unless somebody wins it and Josh is cool with us. Oh, actually, we can't. That's illegal.
Nope.
I can do it in the parking lot.
Nope.
Ain't nothing wrong with doing it in the parking lot, right? Who needs to know? Who needs to know? It's a new month, which means new flavors at Two Roosters.
Somebody did send them.
Check out tworoosters.com. We'll actually have some Two Roosters gift cards to give away for the OG birthday bash tonight. So now, real clear on the birthday bash thing before we get out of here, including the Two Roosters. You don't have to be there tonight for the raffle.
No. You don't have to.
No, you can just Venmo Joe right now at Giglio Joe to get in on the raffle. You don't have to be there tonight. We'd love to see you. Totally understand if you cannot make it, but not all the raffle items are spoken for at Shady's tonight. There's going to be raffle items that will be going to everybody.
Yes, we've learned.
Yes, we have. So Venmo Joe at Giglio Joe to get in on the raffle, and head over to Two Roosters to get in on the new flavors of the month, Joe.
Yeah, I don't have them in front of me, but
I mean,
it's May. New month, new flavors. I'm on the website sometimes.
Hold on. Let me go to the website real quick.
I'm here.
We're
it's the kid flavors.
I like kid flavors because
There's usually a potato chip involved.
I love those.
Molly's Extreme S'mores.
Hold
on,
a second.
I have it. I can read.
Yeah,
toasted
but I can
marshmallow base with salted caramel swirl. Avery's strawberry lemon pound cake.
Caramel peanut butter Oreo. Let's freaking go. Let's go, Benin.
Peanut butter Oreo. Yes.
Mississippi mud cake, mango berry lemonade sorbet.
Whoa.
All sorts of good stuff.
That does sound delicious.
So go to Two Roosters, go to their website. You can see all those flavors. It's all fantastic stuff. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. We appreciate everybody who's jumped on. We appreciate everybody who has listened to us, whether it's from the jump when we started up on May 3rd, or you are new to the podcast, or my personal favorite, hey, man, what have you been doing since you got fired? And I was like, well, we got podcasts. Like, I had no idea.
What are you talking about right now?
And then they...
Is this still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It happened this week, dude.
What?
It happened this week. Hey, man, where you been? I was like, I'm here. Why? Oh, no, man. I miss you on the radio. I'm like, well, that's what the podcast's for. Like, word?
Listen anytime you want.
You can listen anytime you want. So appreciate everybody who has been supporting us, and we'd love to see you at Shady's tonight. I know a lot of the YouTube comments today have been happy birthdays and all that stuff. Evan, happy birthday. See you guys tonight. We got Kelly up in Wisconsin. Wish I could be there to celebrate. Happy second anniversary. Can't wait to get some cans of OG Light for the tailgate at Lambeau. Let's freaking go. I'd love to see a can of OG Light up at Lambeau, man. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. What else we got here? We got Mike with the happy birthday. Appreciate that. Loves to cover two. Oh no, today was going to be the day I was going to use all the F words. No, we save that for super drunk OG after darks. That's where all the F bombs come in.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Gonna need NC State to beat Duke in the Elite Eight again. What would it take for you to do that with the Canes? Would it be winning the Stanley Cup?
Maybe the Rangers, but I don't know. We'll see.
Would it be winning the Stanley Cup?
Oh, I would be excited. Yeah.
Would you drop a bunch of F bombs?
I usually do that when I'm mad, though, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. We'll see you tonight.